A guy in front of me at JFK last month made one offhand joke about what was in his backpack, and within 40 seconds he was pulled into a side room. His Delta boarding pass was scanned, and he wasn't flying anywhere that day. He missed his sister's wedding in Atlanta. He's also looking at a federal fine that starts at around $17,000 under 49 USC, section 46507. And that number can climb fast, depending on what he said and how the report reads. He thought he was being funny. Nobody else thought he was being funny. And the worst part is, he had no idea any of that was even on the table when he opened his mouth. 11 words cost him a wedding, a paycheck, and probably a lawyer's retainer. That's the thing about airport security in 2026. The rules quietly shifted again this year. The scanners changed, the penalties got steeper, and most travelers are still acting like it's 2015 out there. The TSA processed more than 2.9 million passengers a day this past spring, which is the busiest spring in American aviation history, and the people in those checkpoint lines have never been more impatient, more distracted, or more willing to argue. So I want to walk you through the 12 things you should absolutely never do at a TSA checkpoint right now, because every single one of these will either cost you money, cost you your flight, or cost you a story you'll be telling your lawyer instead of your friends. Some of these you've probably done already without even realizing it. I know I have. Number 1, and I cannot stress this enough, do not make a joke about a bomb, a weapon, a knife, fireworks, ammunition, or anything that even rhymes with those words. Not to your wife, not to your kid, not under your breath. TSA officers are trained to flag the phrase, not the tone, and once it's flagged, it is out of their hands. You're now dealing with a federal supervisor, possibly the Port Authority Police, and a civil penalty that can hit $17,000 on the first offense and over $30,000 if they decide you meant it. You will not talk your way out of it. Just don't say it. Number 2, do not argue with a TSA officer. I know they're not always right. I know the rules feel made up sometimes. None of that matters at the checkpoint. Officers have full discretion to send you to secondary screening for any reason, and a raised voice is reason enough. Travelers who push back end up missing flights they could have made in 5 minutes if they just said okay. Save the complaint for the TSA website afterward, where it actually gets logged and reviewed by a real supervisor in Washington. Yelling at the person scanning your bag gets you nothing but a longer afternoon. And here's the part most people don't realize. Body cameras are now standard at every major checkpoint, including LAX, ORD, ATL, DFW, and JFK, which means your tantrum is recorded, time-stamped, and saved for 30 days minimum. That clip can absolutely be pulled and shared with the airline if you escalate, and airlines do read those reports before they decide whether to rebook you. Number 3. Do not refuse the screening once you've entered the checkpoint area. People think they can change their minds halfway through, grab their stuff, and walk back out. You can't. The moment you put a bag on that belt, you've consented to screening, and walking away is treated as suspicious behavior. That can trigger a hold, a search, and in some cases a fine of up to $4,800 for failing to complete the process. If you don't want to be screened, turn around in the line before the bins. After that, you're committed. Number 4, do not throw your wallet, your phone, your watch, your AirPods, or your passport loose into a plastic bin. This is the single biggest source of theft inside U.S. airports, and it is not the TSA stealing from you. It's other travelers. The bins move down a conveyor, sometimes around a bend, sometimes past a half-second blind spot, and a slick traveler in front of you can palm your phone in the time it takes you to walk through the body scanner. Atlanta and Miami report hundreds of these incidents every year, and the recovery rate is brutal. Once your phone walks off, it's gone, and the AirTag you stuffed in your wallet is sitting in someone's hoodie pocket 6 gates away. Put small valuables inside your carry-on, zip it, and then put the bag in the bin. If you have to take your watch off, drop it in your shoe. Never naked in the bin. Number 5, do not show up dressed like a hardware store. Belt with metal rivets, cowboy boots with steel shanks, cargo pants with 12 zippers, a hoodie with a metal drawstring tip, jewelry stacked from wrist to elbow, bobby pins, underwire, a chunky belt buckle the size of a coaster. Every one of those things can trigger the millimeter wave scanner, and every trigger means a pat down. I've watched people add 20 minutes to their checkpoint time because they wore the wrong jeans. The new scanners are also more sensitive to clothing folds and pockets than the older models. So if you have a flap pocket with even a folded receipt inside, you can get a yellow box flagged on the operator screen, and that means hands on you. Wear something soft, something stretchy. Slip-on shoes if you can, and save the outfit for when you land. Hoodies are great. Sweatpants are even better. Save the leather jacket with the 7 zippers for the destination. Number 6. If you are not TSA pre-check, do not forget to pull your laptop and your full-size liquids out of your bag before the belt. I see this one every single time I fly. The line is moving, you're rushing, you forget, and the second your bag goes into the X-ray with the laptop buried under your sweater, it gets flagged. They pull it. They open it, they swab it, they run it through again. You are now 8 minutes behind the people behind you, and the officer is annoyed because they told you 15 times on the overhead speaker. Pull it out before you hit the belt, not after. Number 7. Do not opt out of the body scanner unless you actually understand what comes next. People hear horror stories about scanner radiation, decide to opt out at the last second, and then realize they just signed up for a full pat-down by a same-gender officer in front of everyone. The pat-down is thorough. It includes inner thighs, waistband, chest, and the back of your neck. It takes about 3 to 4 minutes, minimum, sometimes longer if the officer is alone and has to call a second person over to witness. If you have a real medical or religious reason, fine, do it. But don't opt out because a TikTok told you the scanners give you cancer. The advanced imaging tech at the checkpoint uses non-ionizing millimeter waves, which is the same band as your home Wi-Fi router, just at lower power. The dose you absorb standing in that machine for 2 seconds is less than what you get from a banana sitting on your kitchen counter. Number 8. Do not pull out your phone and start recording other passengers, TSA officers, or the screening equipment. Filming the checkpoint itself is technically allowed in most U.S. airports, as long as you don't interfere or film the monitors. But the second you point a camera at another traveler getting patted down, you are creating a problem. Officers will stop you. Other passengers will complain. And some airports, including LAX and Newark, have local rules that let police escort you out for recording in the secure area. If you want content, film yourself in the terminal after security, not at the conveyor belt. Number 9. Do not leave water, coffee, smoothies, or any other liquid over 3.4 fluid ounces in your carry-on. The 311 rule is not new, but in 2026 it is being enforced harder than it has been in years, partly because the new CT scanners catch liquid containers the old machines missed. That full Stanley Cup you forgot about is going to get your bag pulled, your stuff unpacked on a steel table in front of 40 strangers, and your $20 tumbler thrown in a bin. Either drink it, dump it, or leave it in the car. And remember that 3.4 ounces is the container size, not how full it is. A half-empty 8-ounce bottle still fails. Number 10. Do not ignore gels, creams, peanut butter, yogurt, hummus, salsa, jam, or anything spreadable. The 311 rule includes all of those, and travelers get caught constantly because they think a rule about liquids doesn't apply to a jar of artisan jam they bought in Sonoma. It does. If it pours, spreads, smears, or sloshes, it counts. Yogurt cups, full-size sunscreens, that fancy face moisturizer your dermatologist charges $80 for, all of it gets confiscated and tossed. Check your toiletry bag the night before, not the morning of, and put the big stuff in your checked bag where it belongs. Number 11. Do not wrap food in aluminum foil and pack it in your carry-on. This one catches people off guard every Thanksgiving and every Christmas. Foil blocks the X-ray, which means the CT scanner sees a dense, unidentifiable mass shaped roughly like a brick, and the only way the officer can clear that is to open your bag, unwrap the foil, and look at your grandmother's homemade turkey sandwich with her own 2 hands. It will be cold, it will be picked at, it will be embarrassing. The same goes for tightly rolled foil-wrapped burritos, foil-wrapped cheese wheels you bought as gifts, and those foil-lined coffee bags from local roasters. All of it shows up on the screen as a question mark, and a question mark always gets the bag pulled. If you have to bring food, use a clear plastic bag, a clear container, or parchment paper. Save the foil for when you get home. Number 12. Do not refuse the new CT scanner image when an officer asks for a second look. The CT machines that rolled out across most major U.S. airports in the last 2 years generate a full 3D image of your bag, and sometimes the software flags something the officer needs to verify by hand. If you push back, demand they do it again without opening your bag, or tell them you know your rights, you are about to spend the next 40 minutes in secondary while the supervisor reviews the alarm log and decides what to do with you. The faster you say go ahead, the faster you are at your gate. The scanner is not a violation. It is a 3D X-ray. Your dirty laundry survives it just fine, and the officer has already seen worse this morning, I promise you. And here are 2 quick bonus traps that almost made the list. Do not pull your kids' shoes off if they are 12 or under, because TSA stopped requiring it years ago and you are just slowing the line down. The same applies to anyone 75 and up, by the way. So if you're traveling with a parent or grandparent, leave their shoes on too. And do not use the bins as your personal valet tray for loose change, gum, hand sanitizer, and a phone charger snake. Bins are for items that cannot go through inside a bag. Everything else stays packed. The more loose objects you have, the more chances something walks off without you, and the more time you spend on the other side trying to find your stuff, while the next 10 people pile their bins on top of yours. Here's the part nobody tells you. Most of these mistakes are not about the rules. They're about the rhythm of the line. Every checkpoint has a flow, and the people who breeze through are the ones who pre-pack like they already know what's coming. Shoes off and in the bin. Belt off and looped through the carry-on handle. Laptop out and flat. Liquids in a quart bag at the top of your backpack where you can grab them in 2 seconds. Phone, wallet, and watch tucked inside your bag, not loose. If you can do all of that in under 30 seconds at the front of the line, you will never have a problem at security again, ever. The people who get pulled aside are almost always the ones still fumbling with their belt while their bag is already on the X-ray. So tell me in the comments which one of these you've gotten caught on, because I know at least 3 of them have happened to all of us. And the foil one is the one I keep doing. If this saved you a future headache, tap that like button so the algorithm pushes it to the next traveler who's about to make the bomb joke. Share it with the friend who always packs the worst carry-on in your group chat. And subscribe, because next week I'm breaking down the 7 things flight attendants notice about you the second you walk onto the plane. And one of them will absolutely change how you board forever. Safe travels out there. Pack smart, dress simple, move with the line, and keep your jokes for the hotel bar after you land.